Okay. So, in keeping with the theme of the last few days in terms of the weather, I wanted to today's theme is since it's Attention Training Tuesday, the theme is people are just like the weather. And here's what I mean with that. I have noticed that I get myself into trouble when let's say, if I get upset at someone or begin feeling irritated or they get under my skin. Um, I noticed that I have certain beliefs or certain ideas about what they should or shouldn't be doing. And um, the truth of the matter is, they're going to do what they're going to do and they're going to think what they're going to think. And there's not really that much that I can do about it. And yet, when I get stuck in my own belief that they should or shouldn't know better, or they should be more considerate or whatever it might be, it doesn't really help. It just sort of deepens the morass. So especially lately when the weather is really intense, I realize that I don't really have any control over how much it's raining, um, when the sun is going to shine again, if ever, how much water is flowing down the street. It's just happening. And the peculiar thing there is I don't really get angry or mad at anything or anyone for that, right? It's not like I'm shaking my fist at the sky saying, why do you always rain on me, or why so much rain today and not yesterday, and so forth. And so there's a very different relationship that I have to the weather. And I noticed that if I can have the same relationship to other people that are struggling or doing certain things, there's a much calmer and more equanimous capacity that I have, because I can look at them and say, I have no real control over whether or not you're feeling hot or angry or fill in the blank. It's just happening. So the question is, what's my relationship to that? And so I thought it might be an interesting sort of mental exercise to spend some time focusing on going back in our memory and just noticing the thoughts and the relationship that we have to our beliefs and about other people, especially when they're doing things that we don't enjoy. So, quick reminder here: what's going on behaviorally and neurologically is that when it comes to our attention, we basically have two options. We can either focus and concentrate on something, or the flip side is we can let it go. There's nothing really else that we can do. And usually this happens completely involuntarily, and it's just happening whether we're conscious of it or not. And so the goal of today is to play with these two sides of the coin, and actually intentionally see what would it be like if I actually focused or moved towards this experience, and what would happen if I moved away from it, and see what happens, see what it's like to have that kind of control. And of course, the correlates in terms of our brain, what's happening here is our brain is either wiring new systems, so creating new connections, or many of us forget this, the brain is also constantly pruning. It's that's a technical term for it, meaning connections are being removed. So this fits really nicely into this simple paradigm of we are what we repeatedly do. And if we repeatedly activate something, that wiring gets more, uh, um, firmed up more. And if we stop doing certain things, well, then the brain very quickly begins to unwire, um, because those are no longer needed. So I'm just putting those on the table. So as we go through this exercise, we can keep that in mind and actually see that, again, behaviorally, we're moving towards and we're wiring things up, or we're moving away and we're unwiring. And that's, you know, to some extent, that's in our control. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice that. Let's start by closing your eyes. And we have another 8 or 9 minutes. And let's spend the next 8, 9 minutes just being really present to being here. And just a quick reminder that whatever's happened this morning is done. Whatever is coming your way this afternoon has not yet happened. And so we get to live right here, right now, in this present moment, in the space in between what has happened and what is about to happen. Let's see for the next few minutes, set the intention to be fully present to what's happening moment by moment. And a good telltale sign for anchoring in the present moment, or whether or not you're anchored in the present moment, is to see how aligned your body and your mind are. So, right now, your body is sitting in a chair, and there are specific sensations that you can notice or sort of highlight in your awareness. It's your feet in contact with the ground, your glutes and your hamstrings and your lower back in contact with the chair or the ground, your hands on your lap, your thighs. Just bring your attention there and simply notice. I like to have feet, hands, and a body. And I want you to bring to mind a memory of, let's say, sometime in the last couple of days when you were out and about and it was raining, the wind was blowing, noticing the temperature, noticing the color of the sky and just the air around you, noticing all of these happenings around you. Just ask yourself the really simple question: how much control did I have over any of that? And you quickly realize that short of getting into your car, removing yourself from the elements, that you had actually no control over how much wind or how much rain, or how light or dark the sky was. And notice your relationship to that fact. Is it distressing, or is it just something that we just take for granted? Of course, I don't have control over the weather. It just is, just is. My guess is at some point you might have gotten yourself an extra hat or changed your jacket or put on a layer of some sort. Just noticing the matter of factness with which you interacted with the weather. You just got your umbrella, you just put on your shoes or boots. There's nothing personal about it. There's nothing to be upset about. It's just what needed to happen so it could be with the weather as it was. I want you to feel what it's like to come into contact with that capacity to just be with something that's happening that may not be to your liking, but in part because we have no control over the weather, we simply respond to it pretty matter of factly. And now I want you to bring to mind maybe a recent stressful interaction with another person, work, maybe on the road during the storms or in your personal life. Maybe you felt irritated or frustrated or hurt. And see if you can bring your attention to any the inner dialogue that you might have where you're thinking to yourself, well, they should know better, or they shouldn't be doing that. They should be saying something different. They should be behaving in a different manner than they are. Notice how personal that narrative is. And I want you to imagine if you interacted with this person in that situation with the same attitude and the same energy that you have towards the storm or the weather. You have no say in what they're going to do. You have no say in what they're going to say next or why they're behaving the way that they're behaving. Just simply is. What's the equivalent of just getting another layer or changing your shoes and boots and not taking their behavior so personally? People are just like the weather. They just are. They just do what they do. My suggestion here is that what gets us into trouble in our relationships with other people is that we assume or assign them more agency or responsibility than they actually have for behaving the way they do. If we can just accept that they're doing what they're doing, that we don't necessarily know why they're doing it or saying it, and we don't have to know why, we can simply be with what's happening and respond soberly and with equanimity and choose to put on a layer, take off a layer, get our umbrella, change our shoes. And so, in that sense, the weather is just a great metaphor and a great opportunity to practice being with other humans in a much calmer, kinder, and gentler way. We don't need them. We don't actually need them to do anything or be any certain way. We just need to focus on our own sense of agency and responsibility for how to meet them where they're at. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. On this exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. I hope this is a helpful metaphor. It's been really, really helpful to me. I think about it literally on a daily basis when I meet someone that I struggle with or bump into a situation that feels uncomfortable for me. And I just have this mantra where I remind myself, Ollie, people are just like the weather. Just do what you got to do to take care of yourself, to be with the weather in a way that feels comfortable for you. So hope that was helpful, and hope to see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Take care, everyone. Stay dry.